Hello, everybody. It's Hadassah, and this is a quick installment of Mastering Your Craft. And I wanted to I wanted to come back and do another quick video. I wanted to answer this question because I get this a lot from aspiring actors and from the parents of aspiring actors. A lot of times they want to get their children into acting, and they come to me and they ask, I've been teaching acting for a good 20 years. And as an acting student myself, I was a former acting student, you know, it, it's not tricky, but it does have to be strategic, right? How do you begin this whole thing with acting? How do you find a good acting teacher, right? And the way you find a good acting teacher, these are just a few steps that you want to take, right? And I have my notes here because I don't want to forget anything. But off the top of my head, um, yes, when you're looking for a good acting teacher, someone where you are going to invest your money in, and yes, do invest the money. It's not free, right? But at the same time, if you can find a good acting teacher who happens to be offering free classes or workshops, yes, you can go to those things. You can start locally or online. So that's just to get your feet wet. That's just to find out what this thing is. How does acting instruction work? But do understand that it is important to invest. You know, just like you have to pay for dance lessons or you're going to pay for a personal trainer. If you want the best, then you need to pay. Okay. Now, there are some people out there who are too expensive, but I'll get to that later. But in the beginning, you want to look for an acting teacher, obviously with credentials. If a credential could be one that they're obviously an actor, a director, or they've been teaching acting at, a university or a dramatic arts school for a very long time. It could be any dramatic arts school. That means that this is what they do and they understand the craft. It's kind of been said that you can't allow anybody to teach you where they've never been. Well, uh, let me qualify that as that's not always true. Because here's the deal. If you look at Juilliard, if you name me anybody who's famous on that faculty, or who's a movie star on that faculty, or who's a famous director on that faculty, well, they've never been there, but they can teach you the craft of acting. So try not to look at it that way. Don't think, oh, if you look at anybody at the NYU Tisch School of Dramatic Arts, for instance, well, there are some famous faculty members there, but then there's a whole lot of faculty members who are not famous, who have not literally been there, right? A lot of them have been through the industry, or in other words, they've had enough training and teaching experience and knowledge of the craft where they know how to teach you how to act, right? Lots of dance teachers out there, lots of dancers who are not famous, but they're teaching dance. So the idea of credentials, it could be a degree, it could be all these things. So when you look that up, yes, that is a good thing. But the other thing that you want to really look at, the next thing is reputation. You can find this out by talking to other actors, other students who have obviously studied with this particular teacher, and they will tell you. Now, here's a rule. one or two people that didn't get along with the teacher, that's not accurate. Because if you're in class with the teacher and they challenge you and it brings out maybe a certain insecurity or maybe they rub you the wrong way, well, that doesn't mean the teacher is bad. It just means that you didn't get along with that teacher or you could not stand up to or hack whatever. You couldn't handle the curriculum. That's probably so what I would say if you're listening to other actors, I would weigh it. You know, if you can find at least 10 actors who studied with this person and they go, wow, it's great. You know, he or she is really, really good. And yes, go with that. However, if you find 10 or more actors that don't like them, or they rub you the wrong, they say, oh no, I don't like that teacher. And, you know, I would say, pause, think twice, you know, definitely pause and think twice. And there's a way to kind of find out how a teacher is. I'll get to that in a minute. It's really quick, but I just wanted to go through these other these other things. So like you also want to find a teacher, and you'll find this out if you go to like maybe a workshop that they're having, which really is the next thing. If you're able to audit their class, or if you're able to go to a free workshop, whether it be online or in person, and you find that this teacher is able to open you up in a way artistically. Like maybe you're an introvert and they're able to open you up in a way artistically that you never thought possible. There's just certain things that you never thought was in you to do, or they enlighten your perspective on what acting is and how to approach it and how to study it and how to practice it. And it does open your mind. It gives you an exhilarating feeling. It makes you think. That is somebody you want to pay attention to. You want to look into studying with that person because you could really go far. Okay. So, when you do get into these classes, the one thing about actors or about the acting profession, it is a process where students are being challenged to open themselves up and to make themselves raw and vulnerable. Because it does require that if you're going to take on roles and become other people and really dive into the craft. So, what you want to do, you want to be careful. There are a lot of teachers out there that are very rigid, hard. You want to find a teacher who, they can be tough. I've had some tough acting teachers. I've had some tough acting teachers. You want to find a teacher who is very positive, that supports you, that affirms your self-esteem, right? You don't want a teacher who is mean and humiliating. Never pay someone to humiliate you and to be mean. There is sort of this method, I guess it's still out there, right? Where there are some teachers, they're like Nazi teachers, where they believe in breaking you down. That means they break down your confidence and your self-esteem, because this whole idea of teaching you how to unlearn human behavior and to relearn human behavior. So it's breaking you down and building you back up into the actor that they want you to be. And that's effective, but I don't know if it's completely healthy. As a matter of fact, I want to go out on a limb that it might not be healthy, especially if you have a teacher that does not like you. Don't study with somebody who does not like you. There are too many other teachers in the world that are better for you. Don't pay someone who is passive aggressive, or they use lessons to execute microaggressions towards you in the name of I'm trying to teach you, I'm trying to challenge you. That's not what you want. Because positive teachers can do that too, but they don't have to use microaggressions or passive aggressive behavior. If a teacher does not like you, it depends on the situation that you're in. You know, if you're at a university, it may be tricky. You have to find a way because maybe you have to take that class in order to graduate. That's a little bit different. I'll do another video on how to navigate that. But always, but when you're looking for a teacher, you want to look for somebody who is positive, who is encouraging, again, who knows how to bring out the best in you. And you can't bring out the best in there's an argument, but you can't bring out the best in someone and compliment high self-esteem by being mean to them, by undermining their very confidence. Because the one thing you need as an actor is confidence. And if you find someone who undermines that, that's not that's not healthy. It's not professionally sound. So find someone who can really enlighten you. And what I mean by enlighten, I mean they have a lot of knowledge. They can teach you about the craft. They can teach you about the history of acting. They know how to take techniques and apply it to you, and they know how to interact with you personally according to your personality, according to your personal thinking and being, and pull out the best in you to be really artistic. They know how to pull your talent out and make it shine. That's the teacher you want. Trust me. Now, that doesn't mean that a teacher who challenges you, is a bad teacher. No, you want a teacher who challenges you. You want someone that has boundaries, that stands on their square. You want a teacher that disciplines you. So you may not want it. It's like think of it like if you're exercising and you have a trainer. No, you don't want a trainer that's only going to do what you want. I don't feel like doing those push-ups, and you get a teacher or you get a trainer that says, "Okay, you don't have to do the push-ups." No, that's not what you want. No, you want a teacher who will challenge you and push you to the next level. You want a teacher that will um who basically will teach you how to face your fears, who will help you overcome certain types of phobias that you may have within yourself. You know, a lot of people are so afraid of their body. They don't like, they're self-conscious. Well, you want a teacher that'll help you in a very positive way overcome those things. So challenging you or getting you to do things that you've never done before, that's good. I'm not talking about inappropriate behavior. That's not what I'm talking about. But let me also put in there, you want a teacher that has proper boundary, proper business hours. Like if you're training with a teacher at night, you're training out of school. If you go to a private teacher, again, you want to use your common sense, follow your gut. I don't know if I'd study with a teacher at 2 o'clock in the morning as a female going to a male, or as a male going to a female, or it could be same sex, it doesn't matter, but it isn't typical. It isn't typical. Okay. Um, you know, a good way to find out if a teacher is good, go to the showcases. A lot of acting schools and acting teachers, they should have showcases so actors can show what they've learned. And if you look at the work in performance, and all of that is as a result of studying with this teacher, then okay, that's a good sign. If you see how incredible the actors are able to execute at the end of just one semester or one session, then yes, that's a good thing. And that's where also too, again, as I said a little bit earlier, it- you know, ask to see if you can audit one or two classes. Don't try to audit like the whole class because then why would you pay, right? I understand it's a hustle, but it'd be a bit uncouth for you to try and do that. Just see if you can audit one or two classes just to get a feel for the teacher. That's really, really a good thing to do. And it also shows that that teacher is on the up and up because you know what? They're willing to let you audit. They have nothing to hide. And they can give you a good experience. So do that. Let me tell you this. Try, avoid at this stage, if you're just beginning and acting, you're looking for instruction because you want to hone the craft. You want to learn how to be an actor. So at this stage where you don't have any acting experience, avoid going to casting directors or agents or, just coaches who start having these seminars to teach you how to act and to get into the audition room and things like that and how to book. Don't do that. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that they're teaching actors and holding workshops for a very specific reason and at a certain stage because they're really trying to teach you how to book jobs. Okay, I get that. But you, as a beginning actor, as an aspiring actor, your main focus is to get instruction first. So the thing about casting directors and agents, that's what they are. They're a casting director that casts for projects. They're not acting teachers. They know a lot about acting. They sit in the audition and they know what they want from an actor. So when they're giving those workshops, they're teaching you what they want from you. But they're not acting teachers. Okay? Let me go back a second. You also want to look for an acting teacher who teaches the methods for an acting school. For instance, Meisner, Strasberg, the Alexander technique, anything from Stella Adler, the Adler technique. So the different acting methods are a good indication that that you are going to get the real good top caliber or rich texture of the craft of acting. That is what you want, right? So hence, if you're with a casting director, they're not really there to teach you Meisner. They're just there to teach you what to do in an audition. Okay? So that's why you want to avoid them at this point. You want to avoid coaches that are just encouraging you. It's nice to be encouraged, but you really don't want that. Okay? So here's another thing to avoid. Avoid teachers who market celebrity. Because there are teachers out there that will market themselves based on the fact that they have clients or past students that became famous. And the problem is that that's not a formula for becoming famous or being successful as an actor. Being a good actor is what's going to get you in the door. And having the skill is what's going to keep you in the door as long as you know how to navigate the business. A lot of, you know, acting teachers will sort of, they'll market celebrity. They'll have them come back for a talk or get on a Zoom call, and people will show up in droves hungry, thinking that, oh, if I show up, maybe this will be my chance. No, you're not going to get cast. No one's going to spot you and say, oh, that one. Can that happen? Yes, like a pearl in the ocean. But typically, if you go to a workshop or a monologue slam or a showcase and there's a famous actor there, sure, you want to see, but it's not the path or the connection to getting put on or the fame or getting on that next Steven Spielberg movie or the next Ryan Coogler film or the next Marvel film. No, it's not. The acting teacher usually uses celebrity to lure students. And I get it. Because you want to be like this guy, come to my class. Well, again, no. Are they teaching the methods? Are they positive? Do they have credentials? Are they experienced? Do they have a good reputation? things like that. That's what you want to look for. And yeah, be careful of of workshops where there's celebrity judges. Yeah, you can go to, you know, film festivals where they have these, celebrity talks and celebrity workshops and monologues. That's great. And it happens once in a blue moon, but just don't, that's not your method to studying the craft and becoming a great actor. Actors are always studying. They are always learning. I said this in the last week. Daniel Craig, after he finished the Bond series, the first thing he did was go back to the stage. The late great Ray Liotta from Goodfellas, that was his most famous role. After he finished that iconic role, you know what he did? He went back to class. So that's why I'm saying that's what a good actor does. They're constantly studying. You can do it privately, and let me say this: a lot of actors, you know, if they don't want to study with me, they'll ask me, "Do you have a class?" Being in a class is not better than private coaching because you can study in classes, but it doesn't help you walk single-handedly into an audition. Because if you have to look to your right or to your left to see if you have classmates in an audition, that's why that's not logical. This goes for coaches, private coaching, as well as classroom settings, right? You'll find out if it's a healthy classroom setting if you audit the class or if you go to a workshop. So that's my sort of rendition of, what's a good way to pick an acting teacher. So look at those things. Look at those things. And, I wish you the best on your journey to mastering the craft. All right. I will see you next time in the next video. Bye.